if the president opts to grant Jeffrey's request, it will be impossible for him to be extradited to the U.S. as Russia's constitution does not allow for extradition of its own citizens. Hi, Cassie.
Hello, Caitlin.
Hey, creepy people.
Hello.
Hello.
If you're new to our creepy corner of the world, this is P&W Haunts and Homicides, where we chat about true crime, paranormal, and all things spooky in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. We also do a tarot reading at the end of every episode for deeper insight into the topic. And, you're going to want to probably stick around for that.
I think it's pretty good insight.
Yeah. Did I tell you we actually got a question from a listener about the tarot readings?
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had someone that asked if we had ever started episodes with the tarot reading.
Yes, we did used to.
We did. Yeah.
So long ago.
Yeah. So I was explaining sort of the logic that you came around to as you were editing and how it was like, man, it seems like we kind of have to just go through and read it all over again when we get to the end. And why not just save it until the end? And then both of us know what the topic is. And it's been gangbusters ever since.
It made our powers more powerful.
I knew as soon as you said that, I was like, she is going to be like, shit, I did not think that phrase through.
Whoopsie.
Oh boy.
Well, even though I said we talk about spooky stuff in the Pacific Northwest, this is not a spooky episode. Don't get confused.
Oh, yes, that's fair. They were like, well, she said spooky this time, and I'm wondering if it's spooky. And no, it's not.
I lied. Sometimes I lie.
Yeah.
Always on purpose. I mean, accident.
How dare you bastardize my phrase? Are you ready?
That's a loaded ass question today.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not ready.
I did not wake up ready. I'll tell you that.
No, she did not wake up like this.
I should probably say I did because I look terrible. So this is fine.
All right, I'm going to get right into it. Charlene Voight was reported missing from Littleton, Colorado by her family on July 8th, 2016. At the time, her sister and the rest of the family had not spoken to her for several days, which was very unusual, even given the recent holiday weekend, which is never a great sign. She shares no relation to the World War II veteran that also made local news in 2021 after his dog tags were discovered in the Grand River back in 21.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. But I was left with an incredibly eerie feeling as I researched this case. Hear me out.
Okay.
The dog tags in question belong to Clifford J. Voight. Slightly different spelling, and I'm obviously going to digress to say that I'm completely overcome with giddiness at the idea of dog tags belonging to a man named Clifford being discovered.
Oh, that is so cute.
I know.
I knew someone named Clifford. Hi, Cliff. You're probably not listening.
I also just thought, shit, well, maybe they are related. And they're not. But
you said they have the same last name, but it's spelled different?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I thought it could have been a typo.
It's possible.
Happens.
Anything's possible.
That is correct.
You're welcome.
Though I'd argue that the discovery of dog tags far from the banks of the river is hardly a story that we can necessarily assume ended well.
No.
Yeah.
He was washing his face and then they slipped off into the river, right?
Anyways, I have to ask, is it just me or does the thought of finding anything in a river lead everyone to escalated threat level type thinking?
I think so.
Okay. All right. Probably just me, but I don't think it's a fear of the water.
I don't think it's just you, though.
No, it's not.
It's eerie finding stuff, anywhere, just
Yeah.
like laying anywhere, seeing a shoe. You're like, anything could have happened.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's dog tags too, like that doesn't really belong there. And like if you're parted from your dog tags in a river, I think it speaks to something, maybe not so awesome happening potentially. But I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief. Clifford, the veteran, not the cartoon canine, was originally from Grand Rapids, and he has since been laid to rest in Mesa, Arizona, seemingly peacefully. I was left with the impression that no reasonable or disquieting concerns regarding foul play of any kind or an accidental drowning were a factor in his passing. So I at least feel better about that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's interesting. He's from Grand Rapids. He
Mm-hmm.
found his dog tags in some rapids.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird.
There's a lot of weird connections here.
I didn't even make that one until you said that just now.
Are we just spiraling and everything's a connection?
Yeah, we that's kind of the name of the game here. I cut out a couple of other things that I was like, oh, what? And it just was like, no, no one has the time. But I'm afraid my allusion to a big red dog just now, well, that's as close to love and light as this story is likely to stray. Unfortunately, particularly for man's best friend.
I hate you.
I know. I'm so sorry. How did these things happen? I didn't realize that there was anything that was going to make you unhappy about a dog until after I was almost 3/4 of the way through researching and writing this.
You claim this, but I'm pretty sure you just Googled dead dogs and true crime cases, and that's how you'd pick them now.
That's not accurate, but way to upset the listeners, Cassie.
I forgive you.
I hope so. At the time of her disappearance, Charlene was a 36-year-old woman and a recent graduate of Cal Poly Pomona. She majored in landscape architecture.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a really cool major.
I know. When she graduated, she moved away from her home and her family in California and resettled in Colorado as she entered a new phase of her life. Kind of a new phase of her life? It certainly had plenty of promise based on this limited data set. At least that's what I would have thought. Her boyfriend, Jeffrey Beyer, also happened to live in Colorado at the time. So it seems fair to say that he probably had a little something to do with her decision to pack up and move.
Oh, I see. Yes. You kind of want to live where your boyfriend lives,
I guess. Or maybe don't. Okay? Listen.
Keep some of the mystery alive, people.
There was not a lot of mystery left at this point. We're going to get there.
Oh.
Charlene's sister, Marilyn, told Dateline in 2016 that Charlene always had a knack for creativity. She was excited to be in Colorado where it's just so beautiful and for the opportunities she'd have there. I have to imagine that it would be basically a dream for a recent graduate like her to live and work in a place known for its vibrant and scenic natural beauty.
Oh my gosh. Think of the landscape architecture you could do there.
I don't
know why, but Colorado, I just think of like pretty boulders everywhere.
Yeah.
Is it because there's a town named
Boulder.
I don't know. That's a nice boulder.
Denver, do you have rocks as well?
I think they do.
Yeah. But let's talk more about the boyfriend, because if I'm being honest, we all know that's the guy everybody wants to talk about right off the top. And frankly, the details of his day job could make a lot of us feel better about our own.
Okay.
So I'm just going straight for the pick-me-up here. Jeffrey's company, named 911 Roll-Off, apparently offered what could be categorized as top-of-the-line dumpster rental services.
Okay, I was very confused when I was like, 911 roll off. Is this all the people that 911 doesn't want to deal with and they roll them off to
You're
someone
like,
else?
What is the nature of your business?
I got confused.
Yes, I admit I was as well.
Okay, so he's trash taker awayer person. Got it.
He's a dumpster man.
It's very valuable service to provide.
It is. The whole waste disposal thing is going to circle back in the sort of formulaic and predictable way that even Lifetime movie writers would think was just a little bit too cheesy or too much of a trope. This sort of feels like the universe getting a funny little jab in on who this dude turns out to be. Reportedly, allegedly. Because at this time, I'm unaware of any unequivocal resolution in this case, I have to say things like reportedly and allegedly, which is deeply painful and offensive to my psyche. I have a lot of respect for anyone that tackles a job like this that requires a certain fortitude of the olfactory senses, but this guy is the hot garbage juice in this case.
Ew.
It's one of my favorite phrases to express distaste for just about anything. Not that I'm claiming ownership to the phrase or any other. Well, okay, except maybe #NeverBundy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of #NeverBundy, you're welcome. You get an introduction to the inner workings of my brain. Inserting a completely unapologetic plug right meow. Not an ad, just an ADHD moment. Go and get the book Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll if you haven't already. We received an advance copy, which I really hope will just be a thing now for us, because I love books, and the best kind are those that are from fantastic writers for free 99.
It's a really good book so far.
But we also ordered it on Audible as well. So
yes.
They may have known what they were doing. Based on my early girl math projections, I'm confident in saying it was worth every cent. You guys know how I feel about feelings. Cassie and I are making our way through the book, and it has been such an intense, slow-building thriller and an emotional roller coaster, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
So please read the book and join us for our Patreon book club. We'll be announcing the date for that live stream shortly-ish, if we haven't already. We'll add a link to the book and, as always, for the Patreon in the show notes.
Can we change it to #NeverTheDefendant?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Y'all have to read the book to figure that one out.
Oh
my God. It's amazing.
Never the defendant. Back to Jeffrey. Police were called to the shared residence of Charlene and Jeffrey. He did answer the door, but only spoke to responding officers outside after closing the door to the residence. So some very intentional actions and behaviors.
Okay.
In his retelling of recent events at the time, he told officers that he had fought with Charlene in the evening leading up to the holiday. He stated that she had wanted to party.
Who doesn't?
I know. But he had to work over the weekend and was unable to partake in the festivities.
Aw, poor guy.
Yeah. Is anyone else lifting their eyebrow skeptically?
I sure am.
Prior to Charlene's disappearance, the couple reportedly went out with friends drinking on June 30th. The night's activities included the four hitting the slopes as well. And by that, I mean doing cocaine.
Okay, I was like, it's July.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that would be weird. I thought maybe you'd get it if I said it. And I was like, it's July. She's going to understand. They're not actually skiing, right?
I don't know, Colorado.
I don't know either.
There's some high spots that maybe have snow in July. I don't know.
High spots. Get it? I'm just certain that's what all the kids are saying these days, though. Hitting the slopes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the evening took a dark turn when a seemingly agitated Jeffrey pulled the female half of the other couple that had joined them into another room where he promptly locked the door and held her, allegedly sexually assaulting her. On July 10th, Jeffrey gives a formal statement to investigators at the police station regarding Charlene's apparent disappearance several days prior. Just days later, on July 12th, Jeffrey is arrested for the unnamed female friend's sexual assault. It should also be noted that Charlene's family shared additional information with local authorities in Colorado following law enforcement's initial visit to their shared home to question Jeffrey. Charlene had filed a restraining order against Jeffrey dating back to 2012 when they were both living in California.
Oh, wow. So this isn't a new thing.
Mm-mm. She described an episode of physical abuse lasting upwards of 20 minutes that made her fear for her life in his presence. Charlene had said of the altercation, "I thought I was going to die. Luckily, he finally stopped and went to bed. Jeff begged me not to call the cops on him since he knew that this would put him in jail for a long time due to his past history of physically assaulting other women."
Oh, no. Please don't tell them I did it again. Fuck nut.
Jeffrey did, in fact, have a history of abuse dating back to at least 2007 involving his ex-wife as well. Ultimately, he pleaded guilty in the domestic violence incident and served jail time for it in 2013.
Not enough.
Nope. This prompted an emergency ping to be issued for Charlene's phone shortly after she was reported missing. Both law enforcement and her family were so concerned for her safety in light of, recent events. And then, once they had the entirety of the terrifying multi-state backstory. The report they received showed that her most recent activity had taken place on July 1st near the apartment that she shared with Jeffrey.
That was her last activity?
Mm-hmm. Charlene's phone last transmitted to a tower at 4965 South Rio Grande Street. No subsequent activity was reported on her device. The couple's shared apartment address was also on Rio Grande Street, where the neighbor reported hearing sounds that may have been an indication of a disturbance in the neighboring unit belonging to Charlene and Jeffrey. Unless they wake up early to rearrange the furniture in their apartment. It's possible my upstairs neighbors typically do at least once or twice a week, but
I hope nothing shady is going on up there. Jesus.
I think about it all the goddamn time.
I think you have a log next to your bed, like writing down the kind of sound and what time.
It's not a bad idea. Circling back, the charges related to the alleged sexual assault were eventually dropped in service to the prosecutors working on Charlene's case. The cases were so intertwined, if they moved ahead with the charges related to the alleged sexual assault, they would have been required to turn over basically everything they had during discovery, including everything they had in a future murder case. And let's face it, it's less than ideal for a future murder trial to have already shown your hand.
Yeah.
It would be a major tactical disadvantage for the state in all likelihood. Although, and you'll see why at the end here, maybe we circle back again, and now maybe we just charge him for the sexual assault as well.
Yeah.
Maybe we do that.
That was a sexual assault on the friend?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, how awful for her though too. Like this happened to her and now nothing's happening with it.
Yeah, legally nothing happened.
Oh God.
But I think even fairly early on in the case, everyone involved could see where Charlene's case was headed, despite the fact that Charlene had not been found. According to the August 2019 indictment released on Monday, June 1st, 2020, so almost a year later, at the very height of the panorama, the panini sandwich of the plague, known as COVID. Less fun to say, though. I have to.
The Panama.
Jeffrey Scott Beyer was charged with first-degree murder, first-degree felony murder, sexual assault, 2 counts of tampering with evidence, third-degree assault, and 2 counts of attempting to influence a public servant by misleading authorities about Charlene's disappearance.
Dick.
He was also charged with aggravated animal cruelty.
No, I knew it was coming, but I was hoping it wouldn't come anyway.
Yeah. Which I'm pained to say that I need to issue, obviously, a trigger warning for bad things happening to animal.
Okay.
We're not quite there yet, but I'll let you know when we get there. Again, they're still looking for Charlene, whether she's alive or it's simply her remains. So let's get back to the investigation. Everyone brace themselves, though. After this episode drops, I could foresee some really awkward interactions at a few Colorado targets. Okay?
Oh no. I'm literally staring at a Target bag under your desk right now.
Though Charlene is gorgeous, and there's certainly a kindness behind her eyes that feels uncommon, she looks very much like a number of women that doubtless countless people interact with every day. I feel like when you see a picture of her, if this is immediately following her disappearance, you're looking around everywhere going, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I thought you were the woman that they're looking for.
Oh, okay.
Because she just has one of those very all-American girl faces that, well, they frequently make the news.
I get that, yeah.
Yeah. The Charlie Project and other missing persons databases described her thusly. Missing since 2016 from Littleton, Colorado, she is classified as an endangered, missing 36-year-old female. I have to take a deep breath before this next part. It hurts my heart. Measuring 5 foot and weighing 105 pounds.
Oh, she's just little.
This is an incredibly small woman, very slight. And I can't help but think that it takes someone particularly evil to prey upon her. Distinguishing characteristics that they listed were a Caucasian female. Since when has that ever been a distinguishing feature?
Right.
With blonde hair, brown eyes, pierced ears. That's a distinguishing feature.
Wow, okay.
And a scar on her abdomen from a prior car accident. She was also said to have a 2-inch wide, butterfly-shaped birthmark on her lower back, right above the booty.
A butterfly birthmark?
I know.
I thought you were going to say a tattoo.
Well, yeah, especially when you hear that it's in the,
the not tramp stamp. Because who cares? Tramp isn't even a thing.
Yeah. Shut up.
That is really cute, though. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that I need to tell you that this description could probably be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, or even millions of women.
Yeah, I think the only distinguishing was the birthmark.
The birthmark, yeah. Luckily, the indictment reveals that there was surveillance footage recovered in the course of the investigation that left something akin to a breadcrumb trail. Stay stupid, motherfuckers. In early July 2016, shortly after Charlene's whereabouts get a little bit sketchy, according to the indictment, a number of hours between roughly July 1st and the 2nd, Jeffrey was seen on numerous recovered surveillance footage clips. Honestly, it was like he was on like a scavenger hunt. And all that was required was to be on as many cameras as possible.
I mean, now, oh my gosh, you literally cannot step outside without being on a camera. It's
no,
crazy.
you really can't.
I sound like such an old person.
I know. Or that, or like a, anti-government or like conspiracy theorist.
They're
It's
watching
fine.
all the time.
They're watching all the time. Jeffrey is seen withdrawing $7,000 at a local Wells Fargo.
Question.
Yeah.
Do you have to go in for that, or can you get it from the ATM?
You cannot take $7,000 out of an ATM.
I
No.
wasn't sure. That was like a
Yeah.
serious question. I wasn't sure.
No, it's a really good question because it certainly can differ by bank, but typically there's a maximum that you can take out, and every bank handles it differently, but it's anywhere between $200 and maybe $500.
Oh, okay.
And so some people will go to multiple ATMs.
Oh.
Some of them impose a daily limit. So no matter how many ATMs you go to, the max you can take out is like $300.
Okay. I don't think I've ever had the max in my account to take out, so I wouldn't know that.
You're like, $300? Where did I win the lottery?
Seriously.
Yeah. No, for real.
You think I'm exaggerating, but
I get it. He also went to Home Depot at Santa Fe and I-25, where he's seen moving something from the back seat to the trunk. Both surveillance footage and receipts verify that this was on the very same date that he purchased a gallon of lighter fluid at Home Depot.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is that the only purchase he made?
To my knowledge.
Like that is, you buy a couple other things, to make it seem less suspicious.
It's like when you buy tampons, you obviously you wrap that shit in a magazine and buy a pint of ice cream just in case. Off exit 304 in Bennett, Colorado, he stopped at an abandoned farm off the I-70 highway. He was there for roughly 20 minutes. When officers later searched the property, a burn pile was discovered.
Did they have surveillance footage at the farm?
I'm not sure what the source of this particular section of the footage was. I didn't dig that deep into like the indictment and all of the other information, but I was kind of curious about that as well.
I was like, how did they know he was there for 20 minutes?
Yeah, it's interesting. Huh. And the reason why I didn't really dig any further on that is that there doesn't appear to have been anything of particular evidentiary value beyond the fact that there was a burn pile.
Yeah, because he burned it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Why else would you burn something?
Yeah. But I mean, that's just at least what's publicly revealed in the indictment. And the indictment is in part redacted.
Oh.
So I don't know. I mean, could there be more to that? Possibly. I don't think so. I think primarily it's redacted to protect the name of the people associated with the sexual assault case.
Oh.
Continuing on his route, Jeffrey also stops at 2 separate I-76 gas stations for roughly 5 minutes each. Doesn't say that he purchased gas, so maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Maybe he just had to use the bathroom.
Like, what guy is making 2 5-minute stops on his drive home?
Maybe he has IBS.
I don't know. Okay, 5 minutes. A man with IBS.
That's
5
true.
minutes. Anyways.
I mean, men are gross. Maybe he didn't wipe or wash his hands.
Ew.
He just dropped the load and left.
Okay. Moving on. From there, he travels on to his apartment in the Denver area, but only remains there briefly. He makes an additional trip to his company lot, where he reportedly stays for roughly 2 hours. His final trip is to Tower Landfill in a large truck, where he dumps a load of less than 800 pounds, which doesn't necessarily... It sounds weird. Like, is that not a lot? And apparently it's not. For reference, there was apparently no confirmed or logical business reason for him to make this trip because it's a notably small load for drop-off in his line of work.
And it's like a holiday weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's right before the holiday.
Interesting.
Interesting. A search conducted by law enforcement in November of 2016 revealed many personal items belonging to Charlene. And here's where I need to issue that trigger warning. It's like I gave you a trigger warning for a trigger warning. We'll keep this quick, like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Okay.
Also discovered with Charlene's personal belongings was the body of a small dog wrapped in a red sweater, believed to have belonged to Charlene's missing chihuahua, Toby.
No, Toby.
The dog had been decapitated.
Why? Oh.
Sadly, his head has not been located, which kind of makes you wonder about that burn pile.
Why would he?
I don't.
Just the head.
I don't know. Maybe he thought the face of the dog would be identifiable. I don't know.
I know you don't.
Why does anyone do something so horrific to an animal? I mean, not to mention to his girlfriend.
Well, yeah.
Allegedly.
But just like a tiny little, just like an animal. They're so innocent. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Her car was also found abandoned in a dirt lot at 5099 South Rio Grande Street. So pretty close to their apartment and where her cell phone last pinged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just making sure you caught that one.
I mean, I'm just agreeing with you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. My mind is not here.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not here. At this time, Charlene also remains missing, and I have to assume essentially presumed dead. You know who else was really difficult to locate all of a sudden, though?
Jeffrey?
Good guess.
Huh.
Yeah. Sneaky little snake that he was. He'd made his way to Moscow. Nope, not Idaho.
I was like, seriously? Russia? Is it Russia?
Yeah, the other one.
He went all the way to fucking Russia from
Motherfucking
Colorado?
Moscow, Russia.
What? That's really far away.
The theory is that he crossed the border into Canada in November of 2016 before traveling on to resettle in Moscow. And settle he did. By Valentine's Day 2017, he had married.
What?
And by the following year, he and the Russian missus were welcoming their first child, a daughter.
Holy shit, he moves fast.
Yeah.
Wow.
But apparently, the happy little family life wasn't built to last.
You don't say.
Yeah. By 2019, his wife had filed for divorce. She described horrific abuse at his hands, being brutally beaten and strangled, and in some cases, even the fact that she was holding their infant daughter at the time did nothing to dissuade him from attacking her.
Oh, the poor woman.
Yeah, and their poor child. He had also apparently brought a new girlfriend into his home, which I would say either of these facts taken separately is certainly grounds enough for the divorce. But apparently, by this time, she also knew about his misadventures with the law in Littleton, Colorado.
Okay, wait. So he brought a girlfriend into the house where they were living together?
Mm-hmm. So it was in July of that year that she reached out to police here in the States to let them know where they could recover their little reptilian escapee.
Nice.
I thought so.
Good job.
Yeah. She stated that Jeffrey had come to Russia because he was told there was no extradition treaty, which kind of sounds like bullshit because he's an American. So extradition, in case anyone's wondering, is the act of making someone return for trial to another country or state where they have been accused of doing something illegal. So
okay,
you flee, we pull you right back. After being indicted in the U.S., Jeffrey was put on Interpol's database and was eventually picked up in Moscow. Now he awaits Russia's decision regarding extradition and a Moscow jail. Because I mentioned he's not from Russia, and actually he's probably no longer even married to someone who is a Russian citizen. So I'm not sure why they would want to keep him other than to maybe piss off America.
Yeah. But like,
We'll
who
see.
is he? Who cares?
Yeah, no one cares. According to the Russian daily newspaper, Kommersant, he hopes to obtain Russian citizenship, which, again, I don't know why they would want him.
Yeah, seriously.
He claims to be a victim of political persecution.
What does that even mean?
Mm-hmm. Further asserting that he is entitled to asylum.
Oh, he's one of those entitled people. Okay.
I'm a mediocre white man. How
deserve
dare you?
everything.
Jeffrey claims that he has been framed for murder. He has also pointed the finger at the Coloradan prosecutor and Republican Party candidate George Brockler, who he claims is hunting him for political reasons.
What would those be?
You know, my next line says, which I don't know, Jeff, is repeated abuse and a possible murder committed in the country attempting to extradite you, what you would consider political reasons. I almost have no words.
Literally. What the fuck?
If the president opts to grant Jeffrey's request, it will be impossible for him to be extradited to the U.S. as Russia's constitution does not allow for extradition of its own citizens.
I see.
Mhm. And that wouldn't be such a problem if we were kind of not on such great terms with Russia.
No.
So it's unclear whether he will be returned to Colorado to face the charges against him. No court dates will be scheduled until he is physically present in the Arapahoe County Detention Center.
Is he still in Russia?
He's still in Russia. As far as I know, I really tried to dig and see if any sort of arrangements were made in the last couple of years. And you guys, again, Russia, like, she not that cool with us.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But honestly, like, okay, that's fine. You can keep him. I feel like maybe a Moscow jail is like,
hopefully he's still in there.
yeah. Like, is that better? Maybe that's better.
Maybe.
You know? I'll leave you with the almost eerily optimistic words of District Attorney George Brockler. Nobody should be able to walk away from murder. I will do everything in my power to bring a perpetrator to justice. I am pleased that in the death of Charlotte Voight, there is now a process in place to accomplish that. That last part.
What's the process?
Extradition.
Okay.
So
The thing that
that's why I say eerily optimistic.
Okay.
Like, and it's an incredible feat that, you know, they were able to, you know, track him down halfway across the world. And, but that process you mentioned. Oh, okay. So all you have to do is get Putin to agree to hoofda.
It's going to be a little bit of a challenge here.
Yeah.
For a while, probably.
Sort of a layered situation, like a Russian nesting doll.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe some tarot will make you feel better. I have a fancy new deck to show you. I know how you love that new deck.
Tarot / Oracle deck? Question mark?
As indie podcasters, we love to show our support of other awesome shows. So stay tuned for the promo we've got to share with you this week.
Let's show them some love. You can find their info in our show notes.
Hey everyone, this is Maria with your Creeping Me Out podcast. If you are into the paranormal, true crime, and just plain weird, you're going to want to listen to our podcast. My friend Jessica and I talk about all things weird and creepy, from the Hat Man to alien abductions to your creepy encounters. And that's where you, the listeners, come in. We are working on making more content for you for what your spooky little hearts desire, which means, you guessed it, we need your stories. You can email them to ycmopod@gmail.com. You can also find a link in our Instagram where you can leave a voice message. You can follow us on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter at ycmopod. Thank you for listening, and stay creepy, my friends.
You guys, we're back.
And don't worry, we did get more wine.
Well, of course. This is a special fancy pantsy deck. It's an oracle deck. So we're doing something slightly different, which is both upsetting and exciting.
Hopefully not too upsetting. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
What's this guy called? Praying mantis.
mantis.
I found one of these in my food one time.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Okay.
Giant eyes just staring right back at me.
Yuck. Okay, so praying mantis, mindfulness, strategy, and calm. Execution matters.
Yeah, it does.
It's funny because I read the keywords and I was thinking, oh, it's all the things that Jeffrey didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
That's what I was thinking too.
Plan each moment carefully before taking action. Remain still, mindfully planning your course of attack, and be certain that your strategy will not harm your neighbor. In a state of calm, your mind will more easily open to the abundant opportunities surrounding you.
Yeah, he doesn't have very many opportunities now.
I don't know. I hear Moscow's nice this time of year.
Is it?
No.
Is it cold? Isn't it cold?
I don't know what it's like this time of year, but I hear it's frequently quite cold.
Quite cold.
Quite cold.
Should I pull another one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, I can barely read this. J. It's a J. Communication, assertiveness, resourcefulness. Your input is essential. Say what you need with as concise words as possible. Decide whether you want to plant your seeds in places where they can grow into future harvests or use them to nourish a situation more immediately.
Interesting.
I feel like someone wasn't doing any planting of their seeds.
He was planting a seed.
He wasn't nourishing his seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't just go planting your seed willy-nilly on people who don't want your fucking seed planted there.
Willy-nilly.
Can't we all just keep our hands to ourselves? Is it that hard?
Yeah. Apparently.
I think this one's really interesting because don't they like eat their man's head after they mate?
I don't know. They might eat the whole thing.
I just feel like I've always just heard they bite their head off after, Like, isn't that what everyone's heard?
I think they probably start with the head.
I don't know. We should Google it.
Okay.
Google it. And then it's also like praying mantis. So it's like someone praying on someone. Very relevant.
I literally said someone prayed on her.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
No, it's just funny because it's like that choice of words.
Oh, did you say it in this reading just now? Oh, okay.
No, in the episode.
Oh, you did?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, she already said it. I'm a dummy. I wasn't listening.
National Geographic wants us to know, first of all, not all praying mantis species cannibalize their mates.
How many species are there?
I don't know.
I thought there was just the one.
He says, maybe if the female is starving or if the male irritates her.
Which is probably usually the case.
So are they really that, is it that different than we thought? If you loved listening to that oracle reading and you want to see it, become a member of the Patreon, where a video of every tarot and or oracle reading is uploaded with the ad-free version of the episode each week.
And those videos usually have extras in them that we don't leave in the regular episode. And this episode just happens to have a 2-card oracle reading just for our Patreon.
Yeah, it was fun.
And a little bonusy story from Cassie.
Yeah.
So if you're intrigued by that, join our Patreon.
If you can't support us monetarily, no worries, because the easiest ways to support us are absolutely free.
Tell everyone and anyone you come into contact with about us, especially if it's a blue jay or a praying mantis.
Yeah.
Or you can leave us a 5-star review on any platform you can.
And so can they.
I heard that there's a lot of praying mantises with the internet. So,
Apple Podcasts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spotify. They can go on our website.
If you have any true crime, paranormal, witchy, or praying mantis stories.
I think that falls under true crime.
Yeah, probably. To submit for our listener appreciation episodes, Creepy People Chronicles, please email us at pnwhauntsandhomicides@gmail.com, or you can use our handy dandy Google contact link. It's always in the episode description. Show notes, as it were.
And you're always welcome to remain anonymous in case you don't want any other praying mantises coming after you.
That's fair.
And remember, they don't have to be from the Pacific Northwest if you'd like to share.
Yeah. They can be from praying mantis.
Tin. You're a praying mantisonian?
Yeah. We're really stretching this as far as it'll go, and then some. Follow us on all of the socials if you don't want to miss out on photos of our tarot and oracle readings, our beautiful altar setups, and a lot of backstage shenanigans.
There was a little of that today.
Yeah.
You can find our website and link tree in the description of this episode to check out all of the creepy, cool...
Praying mantis.
Yes. Have a creepy ass day.
Bye.
Are we not doing see you next Tuesday?
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
Or stuff.
Unless you're in Russia.
Yeah, because I will never be there.
The mic at the same time.
Mine's already open.
God damn it, Caitlin. Okay, shh. I was trying to create some ambiance.
Yeah. Grassy ass.